is the former president, national president of LULAC, Hector Flores. Hector. Thank you, amigo. Hey, let's give those kids a warm applause again, please. Thank you all for being here. I've been on this earth almost 75 years. I never thought that we'd go back to an era that everybody thinks was probably the worst in our history. I didn't think they could turn back the clock of civil rights in one generation, but in one election. We know that elections have consequences, but I can't believe that sometimes good people vote the wrong way like they did this past election. What is happening to people? What water are they drinking or what pills are they taking? They're not using their total minds. I just can't believe this person who definitely is not prepared. Yeah, he went to college. Yeah, he is a billionaire. But how in the heck does a guy with character and an attitude like he has against everybody? I mean, there's not anybody that he hasn't spoken ill about. And this isn't something new that he started just during his presidential campaign. You can actually track all he's done during most of his adult life. And it's very un-American for us to have to endure somebody like that. But to all the children that are here today, and the ones that come in the future, what we want in our country is education, not deportation. 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 If this country is going to be able to compete in the global economy, who do you think is going to take and who's going to be the people doing that? All you young people that are here. That's why we have to educate you. Yes, and you know what? I'm very selfish. I want to make sure my pension fund is funded so you guys get a great education, okay? I may not be here very long, but I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity not only to have a good career, but retire, and that they will have a pension when they retire. My grandparents worked till they died, basically. And that's normally has been the history of minorities, not only in Texas, but in this country. You know, who would want to nominate somebody that has little to no knowledge about education? But that's exactly what this administration is doing. Nominating an individual that is not prepared educationally, or even her involvement in school, other than trying to privatize public schools, to try and support the charter schools, to try and sell vouchers again, where people can go and put their vouchers in religious institutions and others. I don't think this is what America stands for. And we should not stand for that. We should not support that. We should oppose that wherever we can. We must give our children every opportunity to succeed, because it not only helps that family move up to the next layer of middle class, but it also helps that community where they live, it helps that city where they live, it helps our state where we live, and it helps our country when we do that. That's why the organization I represent, we're very much into not only attempting to keep kids in school to become somebody, so they can become our elected officials in the future someday. That's why we try to fund them with scholarships and other monies that we do to help them, those that will be the first ones to go to college, out of high school and into college. Because we must stop that pipeline from school to the penitentiary. Out of all the people that are in the state penitentiaries, there are more prisoners in Texas than most countries in the world. Are you aware of that? 7 out of 10 people in the penitentiary are black and brown. And what happens when they come back if they don't have a skill? They go right back. We can't have that in our society. We have to work hard for that. We have to have people in government, particularly in the presidency, that understand these issues so that they can find out what the causal factors are and work to improve what we're doing with people that are in incarceration or the administration of justice. And I'm glad to see that one of the young ladies had a sign that said, we need to build bridges, not make enemies. We need to build more bridges of understanding. We need to think about doing that not only with our neighbors to the south and our neighbors to the north, but our neighbors to the east and our neighbors to the west. Build bridges of understanding and have good commercial trade with them. That's why we have the North Texas Treaty, that we can be able to do business that creates a lot of jobs in our country, but also in their country, so they don't have to come to the desert to find opportunity here in our country. Thank God we had the President Barack Obama and the great work he did to bring us where we were from economically in the beginning of his first administration. Who can condemn his attempt of doing the Affordable Care Act? You know, if it's not broke, you don't fix it, right? What you want to do, you want to make it better, anything. How would you want to put 25 million people out on the streets without any health care? I mean, who would do that? Without having a plan in place to be able to cover everybody, to have safety nets. Who would want to do that and hurt people? That's not, you want to help people when they're hurt, or when they're ill, and when they need a hand up. We need to cover all the people, not a few people, but everybody in our country should be covered. If anything that this administration has done is bring dignity to the office of the presidency. They brought respect to the office of the presidency. They brought civility. And the world understands that we've had perhaps one of the greatest presidents this country has ever had. He just happens to be black. From the first time he was elected, you had people in the Senate saying, we will never permit this guy to pass any laws to favor the Democratic Party. And who can understand that? Why would anybody want to hurt America by saying that and doing that? And the 8 years he's been in office, it's been trying to stumble President Barack Obama at every step of the way. Even when he's been able to outfox him, and he has won some great victories against those that do not want to take this country forward. And our appreciation to the President for that. They've already did an evaluation and an assessment about the credibility and the success of this administration. They're already citing him as being the 5th greatest president to ever hold office. If you can imagine. I don't think America was founded or created for it to become an elitist country, only for the few, only for the rich, only for the landowners. That's why people come to this country. That's why they came here to found this country. So everybody would have an opportunity. Unfortunately, that's not the thinking that's in the White House today. This is a country of inclusion, where everybody has a seat at the table, where everybody has an opportunity to run for office and get elected. Right here. But if we do not have the adequate representation to represent us, then it will be for naught. One thing it has taught me is we gotta now start right now to work very hard. In a couple of years, we gotta do our job. Thank you so very much. God bless you.
All right. Next, we have Nico Reyes, who is the chairman of Immigration Civil Rights for LULAC. Nico.
Buenas noches, good evening. My name is Nico Reyes. I am honored to be Immigration Chair for LULAC in the state of Texas. But I was born in Mexico. I'm one of the people that Donald Trump says, I'm a rapist, I'm a killer, I'm a bad person. I have an education with the Jesuits, studied to be a Jesuit priest. I'm a steelworker representative and AFL representative, AFL-CIO. According to Dun & Bradstreet, according to Positively Texas, CBS, I was the first portable DJ company in the United States of America, a multi-billion-dollar agency organization in the United States. I am not a bad person, and a lot of Hispanics here are not bad people. Donald Trump did not choose for his staff a Hispanic. Can you believe that? The Hispanics are part of the history and the glory of this country, and he did not choose one. If he wants to take people back to their country, he should start with his wife. And like Hector Flores said, we want education, not deportation. Education, not deportation. Education, not deportation. Education, not deportation. God bless you and God bless the United States of America.
ver, tenemos una familia, a family. They're family. They're not criminals like you were talking about. Just because of the color of your skin, where you come from, what your gender is, who you love, that doesn't make you a criminal, it makes you American. And that's why we're here, President. We're going to stand up for all Americans against Donald Trump. All right. So, I want to thank everybody for coming out here. Y'all did a great job of getting organized in 48 hours. We wanted to make sure that we sent our voices down to Washington. Like I said, there's demonstrations across the country, actually in 30 other different countries. The first time it's ever happened. You know, I didn't have a problem with George W. Bush or Reagan in terms of I disagree with them, but they did. This president who ran a campaign of hatred and division and who brings out the worst in people, that's the type of president that we just cannot stand for unless we're ready to push back and be ready to resist. So today is our day of resistance. So come on up, we have a veteran who wants to say a few words.
Thank you, Country. Everybody that's here, thank you for coming out. Media, let's not provide any fake news, as Mr. Trump says. To the gentleman in the back says that we're all crybabies. This is not a crybaby issue. For one thing, I'm not a crybaby. I'm just here to mention one word that is very little heard anymore in the classrooms, in the stadiums, in public offices, in auditoriums, and that word is God. For a nation that was founded based on religion and God, it seems surprising that as a kid in South Texas and San Antonio, we were more than glad to recite the Pledge of Allegiance every morning there in South San Antonio. And I remember that the Pledge of Allegiance did include the word God. But then something happened that the Supreme Court ruled that you could not enforce those thoughts on other people, non-believers. So eventually God was left out of the Pledge of Allegiance. He was left out of prayer in the classrooms, prayer in the stadiums, prayer at the auditoriums. So what is this country going to do without God? I ask you that. The other thing is that I've drawn not a very accurate map of the United States of America with a wedge driven down the middle of it. And this is Mr. Trump. He is driving a wedge into the heart of the United States. He is dividing this country in a way that shouldn't be, because a country that's divided cannot stand, cannot protect itself from foreign means. It was divided once already with the Civil War. It was divided for black and white issues. But please bring God back to America. The jobs coming back to America, well, nobody's stolen really. The companies left on their own. They left to avoid paying fair and high wages to American workers, to avoid safety protocol, to employ child labor in foreign countries. But the American consumer will still purchase those products because they recognize the name. So in closing, I would just like to say that just bring God back, because that's the main start. And sir, with your sign with the crybabies, that's fine. I have nothing against you. If it's really itching and killing you you're fine. I mean, we're just going to all try to get along and keep all protests peaceful. And let's bring God back to the USA. Thank you.
Come on up.